So we've now classified our operating lease, and it's time to record our opening journal entry at the commencement date. We have our tracking workbook open again, so let's walk through adding the new office lease. And the good news is that most of the work is already done. So first, we'll add this to our lease list. Let's insert a row. The identifier here will be 2.0. We'll name this Austin Suite 500 office lease. The measurement trigger is a new lease. The asset type is building. The initiation date was January 19th, 2026. The commencement date, February 1st, 2026. And the termination date, since we concluded we're reasonably certain to exercise the renewal option, will be January 31st, 2031. That gives us a lease term of 60 months. Then we didn't go through the full mechanics of the discount rate again, but let's assume a similar analysis to our equipment lease produced an estimated incremental borrowing rate of 7.3%. And finally, we've classified this as an operating lease. Now we can create the lease worksheet. To do that, let's copy our equipment lease worksheet and rename it 2.0. And we can update the identifier, which should update all our lease information. And sure enough, you can see we're now pulling in the office lease details, and the dates on our schedule have updated as well. Now let's clear out the existing data in our payment schedule and our right of use asset, and now we can enter the payment schedule from scratch. We paid the first month in advance. So starting on February 2nd and continuing for 11 months, our payment was $3,800. We know we have 5 different payment amounts over the full term, so let's add 2 rows before going any further. Then beginning on January 1st, 2027 and ending December 31st, 2027, the payment is $3,900, which will give us 12 payments of $3,900. Then from January 1st, 2028 through December 31st, 2028, the payment is $4,010. Next, from January 1st, 2029, our first renewal year, the payment is $4,150. And finally, from January 1st, 2030 to our last payment on December 31st, 2030, the payment is $4,220. So that's our full payment schedule. Now we need to expand our lease schedule from 36 months to 60 months. Let's copy the schedule down 24 more rows. And as we expect, our lease liability is being amortized to 0 over the 60-month lease term. Now all that's left is the right of use asset and lease expense calculations. Let's start with the right of use asset. We have our lease liability calculated, and back in episode 22, we booked the first month's rent of $3,800 and the $5,000 broker commission as prepaids. Now that the lease has commenced, as part of our initial measurement, we'll clear them from prepaid assets and include them in our right of use asset. So we have $3,800 in prepaid lessor payments and $5,000 in initial direct costs. Now remember that for an operating lease, instead of interest expense and amortization expense, we record a single straight line lease expense. And the amortization of the right of use asset is calculated as the straight line lease expense less the imputed interest we calculate using the effective interest method. So because this is an operating lease, we can delete our previous monthly amortization calculation. And we'll add an entirely new section for operating lease calculations. So we'll call this operating lease expense. And the first thing we need to calculate is our total consideration allocated to this lease. This includes all lease payments over the lease term, our payments made to the lessor before commencement, and our initial direct costs. And for our total lease payments, we have this total at the bottom of our lease schedule. Then for our prepaid lessor payments and initial direct costs, we'll link back directly to our right of use asset. And then we'll sum this up for the total consideration. And let's give this total a top border. Then our straight line lease expense is the total consideration divided by the 60-month lease term. Now we can update our right of use amortization. So this will be based on the lease expense. The formula becomes the straight line lease expense of $4,099.33 less our imputed interest during the period. We'll lock the lease expense cell and copy this down to the end of the term. And you'll now notice the amortization increases each month as the liability decreases and the imputed interest falls. But by the end of the term, we still fully amortize the right of use asset to zero. And that's it. As you can see in our lease expense section, our cumulative lease payments under the contract and the lease expense through our P&L match each other over the full lease term. Our check is showing false, and that's simply because we need to update this formula to the final row on our schedule. So for our lease expense, we'll link back to our cumulative lease expense here. And for our total cash payments, our cumulative cash payments here. And as you can see, our check is now showing true. So we're ready to record our opening journal entry. If we turn to our accounting system, right now our balance sheet as of February 1st, 2026 is reflecting the prepaid lessor payment of $3,800 and the prepaid initial direct cost of $5,000 for this lease. So now if we create a new journal entry for our initial measurement, this will occur on February 1st, 2026, and we'll add our lease liability first. So that is building lease current, and the credit is for $32,671.34. Then our building lease long term, and here our credit is for $166,437.71. Then we need to credit the $3,800 in our prepaid lessor payments and the $5,000 commission in our prepaid initial direct costs. Then finally, our debit is to the building right of use asset for $207,909.05. This is off 1 penny from our workbook, but that's obviously immaterial due to rounding. So if we save and close that, we can confirm that our prepaid accounts have now been cleared, our building right of use asset is recorded, as are the current and long-term building lease liability balances. So we've successfully completed the initial measurement of our office lease and recorded our opening asset and liability balances. In the next episode, we'll turn to the subsequent periodic accounting for our operating lease.